stuff we went over most of it last time. So let's see. Recapitulation of some gas stage collision talk first. So the gas equilibrium, moving with the average relative speed of one molecule, scattering cross section, sort of the imaginary area that it scoops out as it moves along, and any molecule that it encounters, center of mass lying inside that swept volume, experience a collision. Generally called the scattering cross section catalyst, but I may not use that particular notation. We determine the collision frequency of one molecule, how many times a second does a molecule make the collision, just depends on this relative speed, the cross section, or scattering cross section, and the number density, number of molecules of the gas divided by its volume. The relative velocity we agreed was the square root of 2 times the average relative velocity, square root of 2 times the average speed. This is really the relative, it's really the relative speed, no error over it. And putting in the ideal gas term for number density, what we know for average speed, relative speed turns out to be just 4 times that, because multiply this by square root of 2, you get 16 kT over pi m, which is 4 over kT over pi m to 1/2 pi. Then we calculate that value as E1, or turn it into this expression. This is just a general result, because every molecule moving has some effective scattering cross section for its neighbors, depending on how one detects collision. Special case, if the molecule is a hard sphere molecule like the Van der Waals molecule, hard sphere of diameter sigma, then the cross section just pi sigma squared. We'll use that quite frequently in our models. All right, next, going on, we had that basically developed, and then I chose nitrogen gas at 1 atmosphere, 300 K. We know the Van der Waals diameter. We determined that from the Van der Waals speed parameter, and then it says calculate this collision frequency, number of collisions a molecule makes in a second. And it's just putting data into, or numbers into this expression, but I wanted to write this out in such a way that that I can feel fairly comfortable when I'm through, if I haven't made any serious mistakes. Then we just determine this about 5 billion collisions a second, which is pretty unknown. Then we looked at the mean free path. Consider a molecule moving at an average speed, making collisions at the rate we just calculated. The mean free path is really just the average speed divided by that collision rate. That reduces down to this expression in the general case. Special case with hard spheres, diameter sigma is just kT over square root of 2 pi sigma squared times the pressure. So then we swap in the numbers for nitrogen at 300 K, and we got this this. That's supposed to be here. It's got its 933 actions. So here's a little molecule. We interpret it by the Van der Waals model. It's about 3 actions across, and it travels on average about 300 times its own side before it encounters another molecule on average, which tells us that the gas is very expansive, a lot of free space, should be compressible, and if we need nitrogen gas at 1 atmosphere, greatly compressible. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about is the collision rate in unit volume of gas of all the molecules. Take 1 cubic centimeter of this air and say how many collisions occur in that 1 cubic centimeter in a second. We generally write that as a Z, so 1, 1, or 1, 2, depending on whether collisions are between like molecules or dislike molecules. When we talk about chemical reactions, we want them often to be unlike one another. So I'm just mentioning that as a heads up when we get there. But right now, we're in just a pure gas. We want the Z11 collision frequency between all the molecules in unit volume of gas, the gas equilibrium. So that's just equal to the collision frequency for one molecule times the number of molecules, number density, and that will tell us how many collisions in that volume. All right, so we can generate an equation for that. I just went back to nitrogen on atmosphere during decay. We know we're assuming our sphere. We've already seen that Z1 is this value at 9 billion collisions per second per molecule. P over KT is N over V. And so then we slop in the pressure 1 atmosphere. You don't have to write all this out. I just did it because somehow it's one of those dumb things that stuck in my mind, and I assume it not be room for something else. But I've written it out in pascals. Well, I do it for a while, do some canceling to put in atmosphere, and you got to do some conversion. The Pascal is a kilogram per meter per second squared, and then I divide it by KT. K is 1.38 times 10 to the minus 23rd kilograms meters square per second square. That's joules per molecule per K. Sometimes you put per molecule in it, per electron in it, per this or that in it. Sometimes you don't need it. You just have to deal with it. I think we needed it here, so I put it in 300K. And we'll end up with almost 2.5 times 10 to the 19 molecules per cubic centimeter. We did that calculation earlier. That's a fairly trivial calculation. Then we get our Z11, 1/2 Z1 times P over KT. Multiply those two terms together, and we got 1.39 times 10 to 29 collisions per second per cubic centimeter. Now, that seemed like a big number. To me, it seemed like a big number. I looked up some big numbers, like how many stars are there, known stars in the universe? Well, it's about 10 to 22. It's real wussy compared to that number. How many grains of sand on all the beaches and all the deserts on the earth? Well, nobody knows for sure, but there are ways to make reasonable guesses about that. And that's about 10 to the 18th. Real wussy compared to the number of stars in the universe. Real wussy compared to the number of collisions. Molecules don't give us anything. This is a world we're trying to understand, the world we live in, trying to interpret behavior. It's useful to know that. Now, as I've said before, if reactive gases, hydrogen, oxygen, for example, if every time there was a collision between hydrogen molecule and oxygen molecule, some chemistry took place, then how long would it take for that reaction to completion? It take an issue on that time. And every reaction that could take place in our environment would take place a long time ago. We wouldn't have much chemistry. But fortunately, that isn't the case. We'll have to keep safe with that as we move along. All right. So now we're going to switch over to today's lecture, and I will post these with the rest of that as afterwards. take a gas, put it in a cylinder, fit a frictionless piston, apply a load, which represents a pressure, the force acting over that area, and we have our gas in here. We have end molecules, we have the pressure, and we have the volume, and we have the temperature. And imagine this is in an environment at constant temperature. So temperature is not a variable here, and the end's not a variable here. The only variables are just pressure and volume. And so we're talking about an isothermal expansion or compression of this gas. So if we move that piston down, we have to apply more pressure. If we let it come up, we have to relieve some pressure. The volume changes as we do that. And we know that for an ideal gas, pressure, volume, isotherm, let's just bottom out to a mole. You don't have to have a mole in there. You can always normalize it to a mole. It's an ideal gas, what will an isotherm look like? It will be a Boyle's law hyperbole. Okay. It will be one of these. Now I got some printed out of actual Boyle's law hyperbole. And here's a number of them at different temperatures. So each line is an isotherm, and each is a hyperbole, and they're pretty boring. Get this together. How about if it's a real gas? Well, the line's going to get wiggling probably. And there's some peculiar things. So here is a graphic for generic real gas. The behavior, pressure versus volume. Now out here I've got a line, it's a Boyle's law. Yes.
We can't really.
Up or down?
Down.
Down.
Gotcha.
Okay. Out here I've got a tends to Boyle's law as you move out in that direction. As you come in, then these get squirrely. So if you imagine, we're decreasing the volume, increasing the pressure. Instead of just coming along a nice hyperbola, it got sort of a hump and a squiggle, and then it takes off hell-bent for leather. And then go to a lower temperature, and there's go to a much lower temperature, come down this one, for example. We're decreasing the volume, clearly not on a hyperbola here. You get this point, and what happens? You look in your apparatus, your cylinder, you'll see
Condensation.
condensation. You see liquid forming. You see liquid forming. So we've compressed that gas down at that temperature to the point where the molecules have become so close together that these cohesive forces that hadn't been able to cause them to coalesce previously, now are strong enough, they're colliding enough, they're interacting with other molecules enough that they begin to cling together and form into this space. If we just continue slowly pushing that piston down, infinitely slowly, so you keep the pressure of the system constant. P plus delta, differential pressure. Then what happens? The liquid phase grows in the mouth, the gas phase diminishes in the mouth, the piston comes down until the liquid, until the gas is all condensed in the liquid and the piston's pushing against the liquid. Okay. That's what happens when we come across this line. So again, right here, there is no perfect gas, the compressibility is the way it has changed now. Pushed like crazy, and the volume doesn't change much, the pressure goes up. So that's a pretty descriptive situation, should make a lot of sense. And the higher the temperature, the smaller that range of the two-phase. This is a two-phase liquid and vapor at equilibrium. As you raise the temperature, that gets narrower and narrower and narrower. And then there's this one special curve here that comma. It does. You never ever see the liquid form. And what happens to the slope of the line right here? It goes to zero. It's called an inflection point. So if coming along here, the slope is negative, but it's increasing, increasing, increasing. Here it goes to zero, and then it increases much faster. So that's an inflection point. And this is the critical point. At any higher temperature, where the pressure is Tc, the temperature is Tc, the lower volume is Ec. That's a unique point for each gas. As you go to any temperature higher than Ec here, then what happens? You never see that phase separation. It just can't happen. Why? Because now the kinetic energy of the molecules is high enough that they thumb their nose at the attractive force, no matter how tightly you pack them together. They say, hell no, we ain't condensing. We're too excited. Lower that temperature a little bit and get down below that line, and they say, okay, we'll pull less of it. So that's critical behavior. Now, as you go higher, you get the squiggles. Go lower, and we have this kind of behavior. And I think you've all seen that before. I know you engineers have, and they're all familiar with this. Now, I used to have on one of my thumb drives a video clip of fluid, this carbon dioxide gas, going through the critical port. It's a wonderful thing to know. I couldn't find that this morning, so you can go online and just Google videos of critical phenomenon, critical point. You can find a bunch of them and look at it. It's pretty wonderful because you have usually you're looking through a window in the cell, and there's a liquid and the vapor. They're very slowly changing the temperature or the pressure. You have light very slowly changing and watching this meniscus grow. Of course, if this were our cylinder piston, we first see a little length grow down here, and then it would increase in level. But when you get to the critical point, this meniscus just disappears. It's not like the vapor disappears, the liquid fills the whole cell. It's not like the liquid disappears, the vapor fills the whole cell. Well, that's what happens back over on this curve here. When you get there, you don't have if we come at it this way, for example, we don't have a liquid, we'll get almost liquid here. Come this way, we don't have a liquid, we get almost liquid here. Some wonderful things happen at that critical state, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk about a few of them as we go along here. And I've got some isotherms of a specific real gas, it's carbon dioxide. Now this is a log plot, so it doesn't quite affect like what I said, just so we can get more information on here. But you see, here are the isotherms that don't have very much wiggle room. We're not here far enough, and they would be the Moore's Law, isotherms of log pressure versus log volume. And here's a critical point for carbon dioxide, it's right around 31 degrees Celsius, and the critical volume, which call I guess is pretty dense, critical point. Then here are a few isotherms, and we have the vapor pressure is out here at whatever distance it is on, what is on the bar, and there's 10, and that's 20, so it looks to be like it's around maybe 12, 13 bar. Out there, I happen to know it's about 78 PSI, but that's the critical state. Vapor pressure here is a little higher, vapor pressure is a little higher, vapor pressure here, this is the one that's about 80 bar. No more by 2 days. Now sometimes we represent these phase diagrams plotting the pressure versus the temperature. Those lines then look something like this. Or here's a liquid, here's a gas, and this is the equilibrium line between them. And this moves right up to the point, critical point. If the temperature goes above that, then there's no more liquid phase, no matter how hard you squeeze. This is the triple point where the solid, liquid, and vapor coexist. This is a solid liquid equilibrium. This is a sublimation point. Carbon dioxide does sublime upon the atmosphere, so instead of melting, it just goes directly from solid to gas. That's another way we can look at phase diagrams from time to time. Now, notice that the ideal gas fails to replicate that behavior. That goes just a continuous pattern of perfect high pressure. No squiggles, no wiggles, no condensation. But how about the Van der Waals gas? Well, look at the Van der Waals equation of state, which we now know is pressure plus A over V squared times P minus V is RT. And rewrite this. And you can do this, same as I. This is a little exercise in algebra. And we've written it in the form of a third degree polynomial. Sort of like alpha of x cubed, beta of x squared, gamma of x plus delta is equal to 0. So that's the Van der Waals equation within that notation. Clearly, if you hold the temperature constant, this is the only place that the temperature appears in here. At constant temperature, this is just a function of pressure and volume. And you can plot. Pressure versus volume, or volume versus pressure, I don't know. You can plot isotherms for the Van der Waals equation. We'll do that in a moment, but first, let's note that at high temperatures and high volumes, these first two terms will greatly outweigh those last two. And so as you go to high temperatures, you go to the high volumes, low pressures, you can truncate this right here, and let's say approximately, we have that equation. If the temperatures are high, then RT will become larger than PV. If temperatures are high and the pressure is low, this term is much larger than that one. So you can neglect this, neglect that. I've written that out here. First two terms are much larger than the last two, and RT is much larger than PV, and the equation state produces to this, approximately. This is what it tends to in the limit. But that's just PV equal RT. That's the ideal gas. So the Van der Waals gas walks toward the ideal gas behavior, that's what you could anticipate. But But how about these plots? Okay, just to review a little mathematics. A linear function, this is a straight line, and how many times can it cross another line? Here's an X and Y, there's a line. How many times can it cross some other line? Just once. It has one root. Sense of that line. Quadratic equation. How many roots can it have? Well, that might be a hyperbolum, parabolum, circle, or all sorts of things. But how many times?